Active Ethos is actually something that Larkenby trademarked. And we did it because we really wanted to get across that sense of how values need to come to life everywhere, through everyone, in everything that they do, internally and externally in an organisation, to drive value. Because the challenge you have is actually, however good your values are, if they're not being lived, if they're not being expressed, if they're not permeating really through everything that your business does, then they're not going to drive your culture. And that's even with one thing missed out. So I'm thinking of the Saturday bar staff in a pub, which is the maybe the only point of contact a consumer might have with a brewery's work, for example. It really is about that far out. And funnily enough, if we sort of pan back into the board, it's also about how does the chair behave? How does the financial director behave? It just takes one of these people to not live by your values to mean really that you can't say that they're creating your culture at all. And if you're not creating your culture, then I can assure you someone else will be. And that really is where you start to see the cracks and where you start to see the damage. And clearly for this to work, you need a good set of values. And I'm sure every organisation now actually does have values. I think, we all know we need them. We all know they're a good thing. But I would contend that in many cases, they maybe don't quite apply to the organisation. So they're maybe there with good intent. But perhaps they need a review occasionally. And often it's as you try to bring them to life to create culture that you'll see where those cracks are and you'll see where that review is needed. But if you have the right values and if you are diligent, enthusiastic, have stamina in their application, that will drive your culture and you will start to see a really positive impact from that. You will start to see an impact on the quality of people's work. You will start to see an impact on the morale amongst your team. You'll start to see an impact on performance in that team. You'll start to hear interesting conversations where people start to hold each other to account. And what that all does is it drives all the good things. It drives reputation. It drives growth. It drives profitability. It drives the future. So culture really is something that it is worth understanding, addressing, putting a lot of effort into, and having a whole team of people whose focus it is alongside their work. That's where you start to create the value, and that's what Active Ethos is built to address.